So now I've ridden the Speed 400 out on the road, in the rain, and even rode it a little bit on the test track. So what are my thoughts on the engine character and how this bike is to ride? Well, the short answer is it's effortless, it's fun, and it is absolutely charming. The long answer is, well, first of all, this engine that you see here, it's a single cylinder 400cc unit which comes with liquid cooling, which is pretty good, and the power and torque outputs are about 39 horsepower and 37 Newton meters. Now, if you look at the spec sheets, the engine numbers might look very similar to the Dominar 400, and that is because while this is an all-new engine according to Triumph, what Triumph has done is that they've taken inputs from Bajaj and they've basically, whatever works, they've readapted it into this new engine. The result is an engine which has a lot of low-end grunt, and right from about 3000 RPM, you have plenty of torque. What this results in is that when you're in city or out on highway, you can keep the revs very low and still get ample amount of power to keep you going. Now, when you pull on the accelerator, you will notice the vibrations do kick in. After about 5000 RPM is when you start noticing the vibrations, and above 6000 they become very apparent. So that is something that maybe Triumph can tweak and make it a little smoother, but normal day-to-day riding will not be a problem on this. It will be absolutely smooth. And because this has so much power, it can go from 0 to 100 in a claimed 7 seconds, and out on the road it did actually feel like that. Even the top speed figure which Triumph told us was 145 kilometers an hour, that is the claimed figure. While I was on the track, I saw an odo indicated almost 168 kilometers an hour, which is pretty fast for something which is not essentially fared. So basically, if you are out on a highway journey, then this 400cc engine is more than enough to give you plenty of power and to give you plenty of fun as well. Now, the rest of the bike, well, that has been put together very nicely as well. These 43mm forks up front and the 10-step adjustable monoshock at the back, both of them have a very nice response when you're out on the road. Yes, they're not the most comfortable or the most supple suspension, but it is not uncomfortable by any margin. And when you want to push the bike, well, they lend enough confidence. They do not wallow under pressure, under hard braking too much. So that gives you a lot of confidence. Another thing that gives you massive amount of confidence while riding on smooth tarmac are these MRF tires. If you go and buy the Triumph Speed 400, you can either get MRF rubber or Apollo rubber depending on whatever is available. The bike that we are riding right now has the MRF tires, and the company said that both the tires are similar in performance and they really do lend you a lot of grip, especially the 150 section tire at the back. That helps a lot when you're taking corners. It gives you a lot of confidence to shift your weight, stick your leg out a little, stick your butt out a little, and take those corners in a very spirited manner. Of course, you'll have to do that on a racetrack or in a safe environment, but normal day-to-day riding is also really good. We've been riding through the hilly sections of Pune, and this bike has been very easy to control. It doesn't feel top heavy. There's enough motion in the steering wheel to not lock itself up too soon. So it feels very agile, it feels very effortless. The torque assisted clutch has slip and assist function, which means that you barely notice the gear shifts or the clutch lever pull. So even if you're stuck in traffic, you won't mind being on this bike because the clutch action is so light. The 6-speed gearbox also shifts very nicely. And the best thing about this bike while riding it is that it feels as if it offers little to no resistance. It's like you want it to do something and it just complies. You don't feel like the bike is fighting back too much. The brakes, they do fight back in a good way. The front brake really does come in handy, and I've been basically using that all day long. And when I need, they have good initial progression, and when I really want to come to a halt, maybe I'm too fast, then the bite is there when you press the lever a little more, and it does bring the bike to a halt in a very stable and consistent manner. The rear brake lacks a little bit of power compared to the front brake, but it's still plenty.